Super Thursday! Woo! And this week we're taking you on a trip through Temecula.
Yep.
With
Temecula.
John
Temecula.
The Temecula Beer
Ambassador.
Temecula's Beer Ambassador.
Yeah. And now is that an official title from the city of Temecula, or is it
No, it's self-imposed.
on Twitter? You're like, I created this name on Twitter, so therefore it's legit.
It's my own damn vanity.
On Twitter, it's Tem Ambassador.
Tem Ambassador.
Tem
Ambassador.
So we're going to be doing a few. One of the things that we've been talking about in-house is that we want to focus a little bit more on the IE craft beer scene because it's burgeoning, it's starting to really get built up.
Yeah,
it's near and dear to our heart because it's our home. So we wanted to start down in Temecula because there's a lot of really good breweries popping up there. So we're going to be doing 3 different breweries tonight.
Speaking of popping.
Well done. Well played, sir. Well played.
Well done.
Thank you.
So we're going to start off with Refuge Brewery.
John,
First of all, this is their triple, right?
I don't know. Where's my glass? Can I get a glass?
John does not get to drink beer tonight.
Apparently,
John
John
is
is
on
not
punishment.
sampling any of Temecula's fine brews tonight.
John's like, I'll be on the show, but I refuse to drink their beers.
That's just how you roll, isn't it?
I was just like 1, 2, 3. Wait a minute.
Well, I saw 3 and I was like, that makes sense. Wait a minute.
I know, right?
All right, so
Except there's a fourth.
this is their triple, and tell us a little bit about Refuge Brewery.
Refuge Brewery is a brewery in Temecula that specializes in Belgian style beers. This is they're pretty much their biggest seller. It's their Belgian Tripel. It's 9%, and it's just
Cheers.
a really wonderful beer.
Well, we'll be the judge of that.
I'm sure you will.
Righty.
Yeah, just so we can finish this whole thought with the Temecula breweries. Temecula, California. It's about, I don't know, 30 minutes south of the greater Riverside area.
It is.
It's about an hour from LA.
Yeah, we're about 30 minutes south.
And about 30 minutes north of San Diego.
We're
Mostly known for
52
their
miles
wines.
north of San Diego.
Well, maybe North County or a little less. But
Yeah. It's the original home of Vinny Chilurzo from Russian River.
That's right.
Hence the Pliny the Elder shirt.
Hence the Pliny the Elder shirt.
Yeah.
Representing.
It's not just a douchey thing that he was doing.
Well, it is kind of a douchey thing,
Yeah,
but
it is sort of.
it was a clean T-shirt.
It's like, oh, he has a Pliny the Elder shirt. Newbie.
No, but Temecula's mostly known for their wine country.
Yes, Temecula has a plethora of wineries.
And their horse ranches.
And horse country, but the brewery scene has just taken off in the last 4 years. First with Black Market, and then now with all the other breweries that have come on, and we'll talk about the other two of the 5 production breweries six production breweries that we have in town, but 5 of them actually have tasting rooms.
Cool. Nice.
Yeah,
Right,
Refuge
and they're
actually has one of the
Nicer.
coolest tasting rooms, like in Temecula.
It was
Well,
great
is
showing
that-
you guys around to that one.
Yeah, is
Yeah.
that like is that kind of because they're trying to compete with the wine bars in the area, or
The 2 guys that own the place are very, very methodical and very, very in tune with what they wanted in a brewery.
Right.
Kurt's an engineer, and Glenn is a tile contractor.
Right.
So they pretty much did everything in their brewery themselves.
Nice.
They did a lot of their own work, except for a lot of the hard electrical stuff and some of the big plumbing.
Well, yeah.
Where they had to contract out by code. But they put a lot of thought into the design. Kurt's wife did a lot of the design work. It's a family-run business. Both families are very, very in tune with what's going on there. Both of Kurt's sons work there. And both the wives.
And they don't distribute out very far. I mean, a majority of their stuff is just
Right now it's local. They've been talking to some distribution companies, and they've been gearing up for that aspect of their brewing move. Yes, and so what they're putting out right now is taking Temecula on the Belgian side by storm.
Yeah, this is fantastic.
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's super clean. It's got all those nice fruity esters you want in a nice triple. It doesn't have a big alcohol hit like you'd think on a 9% beer.
they have a really good Belgian IPA as well, and a fantastic porter, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, the oatmeal porter, the entropy porter.
Entropy
very,
porter
very
is
nice
really
beer.
good.
Yeah, this has a really nice like candy-like kind of like ester quality that you get off.
No candy sugar in it.
Really?
It's all grain.
Wow.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was talking a little bit about that.
Nice.
Yeah, he was talking a little bit about that when we were down there. I was asking him about that because
It's got
that was the first thing I said too.
No, man, I agree.
No, it was the first thing I said too. Is I was like, oh, okay, so you're finishing this off with like Belgian? She's like, no, this is all the grain bill and whatever. Like, oh,
So this is like Pilsner malt and yeast. Like that's.
They're yeast masters.
now he's
Yeah, I
mad.
guess
Well,
now you made him
I know,
mad. You
I'm
made
like,
me angry.
well, the nice thing about them is Kurt has developed his own lab. He has his own lab on site where he does all his own yeast stuff. He propagates his own yeast. So they've really put a lot of forethought into what they're doing as a brewing process.
Nice.
Yeah, as far as the beer goes, I mean, it's definitely got that, I mean, typical Belgian nose where it smells refreshing. It smells like inviting as
very
a Belgian
bright,
beer,
right.
you know? Yet it's just very clean. Got a nice mouthfeel, nice body to it. The sweetness is really
Yeah, it's got a
really
little,
nice.
little bit of sugar on the back end, but it's
Yeah.
very complete.
No
it is
filtering.
complete. That's a good way to put it. It's complete. Yeah.
For a lot of you that are watching the show right now thinking like, oh, this is the ultimate West Coast beer. Like, where am I going to find a Refuge Brewery from? You're not.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Not right now, not right now.
Yeah, not right now. But I think what we're trying to do here is say, first of all, like we said, the IE beer scene's near and dear to our heart. We're going to spend a show or two on it. Deal with it.
And it's not just like we're trying to promote the IE beer scene. Like, there's good things happening in the IE.
Right, and we're
Yeah.
trying to introduce
Oh,
the fact that
absolutely,
like
and not
if you're
just in northern the IE, but you know, right there by North County, San Diego as well.
right. Well, that's my point is that a lot of people fly into San Diego. They go on beer trips to San Diego. They go to beer trips to LA. You're 45 minutes from here.
And they stop at Stone.
Spend a day, spend a day, come a little farther north.
Not that there's
and
anything wrong with Stone. I love
Right.
Stone
No,
beers.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it's like, if you come a little farther north, you're going to find some really freaking kick-ass stuff that's going on. And that's why we're doing this. This is why we're introducing a beer that you're not going to find anywhere unless you come out here. Because enough people come out here that it's worth, like, making these destination spots.
So we're just going to dive right into the iron.
Wow.
Yes, we are.
Here we go.
I've been waiting for this one.
Now
This
we're
is
going over
actually-
to IronFire, which, if you know me online, you've known that I've talked about their 5150.
The owners and brewers, or whatever you want to call it.
Well,
they originally were from Ballast Point.
Yeah,
you know?
they both worked. John and Greg both worked at Ballast Point. Super nice guys. They have basically their own brewing style, and it's one of those things. Their motto is ales for outlaws.
Yeah.
It's basically
Cheers again.
here's the beer we make. If you don't like it, tough.
Oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
See why I'm kind of creeping for that bottle?
Now,
Yeah.
5150 is
And this-
personally, it's
yeah.
one of my favorite IPAs right now. End of discussion.
Yeah.
It's topped almost every IPA that I've drank for a
It
while.
smells like a fresh open bag of hops.
Yeah, the aroma on this beer is so amazing. The balance on this beer is awesome. The dryness, the crispness of it is so. It's an epic IPA that I just.
you had a
it
keg of
was
this
so-
at your house for your
For my housewarming party, yeah.
and
You're welcome, by the way.
I know.
This beer prompted them to buy a fermenter specifically for this beer.
I'm not surprised.
They bought a 40-barrel fermenter just for this beer.
oh god, it's so spicy and
It
citrusy. and
it is
danky.
their biggest seller.
God damn
But, you know, they have a lineup of specialty beers that are just going to wow you. I mean, they've got a habanero pale. They have their barrel-aged, and you got to get there quick on this, is their barrel-aged Outcast Dead Red. That they add 4 months of aging in Jack Daniel's barrels.
Nice.
And
So-
then they do specialty beers strictly for the tasting room too. Like we had the
Strictly
Thin Mint beer.
strictly for the tasting room.
Yeah,
But
we had.
they have
I don't know if anyone, it was the Thin Mint.
the
beer,
Thin Mint
like,
Stout.
made from
Thin Mint Stout, yeah.
the Thin Mint Girl Scout cookies.
They did a stout, and then they added crushed Girl
Yeah,
Scout cookies
like-
to it.
What the hell?
Yeah, it was
And it
like
was wonderful.
I think we plan on doing a show there at some point, but we asked John about that. It was John.
John, yes.
And we're like, so how do you go about adding the Thin Mints? He's like, well,
You crush them up, put them in a
crush
bag,
them
put
up
them in the beer.
and I put them in the beer. We're like,
Dude, you know that there
because
was.
John's like, did you pasteurize those things?
Dude,
like,
dude,
what's going on?
You know that there was one Girl Scout who talked to that dude, and she was like, "I just met my quota."
She's like, I'm going on the vacation.
Yeah, exactly. I won so many prizes.
yeah, she's like a future CEO.
I know, right?
Well, being as someone who works 3 blocks from the brewery, I only wish they were open Monday and Tuesdays because all I get them is Wednesday through Sunday to come in and drink this beer.
Oh, poor guy.
So I have to
cry you a river of tears.
I have to open bottles on Monday and Tuesday. Oh yeah, I know. Poor me, right?
So speaking of bottles, they are bottling now.
They are bottling
Are they
this,
distributing? Obviously,
and they are distributing out of a company out of San Diego.
Cool.
So they have all of their flagship bottles they're all the flagships in bottles right now.
Cool.
And the Vicious Disposition Porter, which is Vicious Disposition Porter, which is wonderful.
Right.
Yeah.
IronFire, I think, is really, along with Refuge too, up and coming brewery.
Yeah.
Like, they haven't been open for very long.
Their tasting room has they've been actually brewing for about, I believe, a year and a half now.
That's not very long.
No, not in the grand scheme of things, but the tasting room
compared to a lot of the Temecula breweries, they're like the old.
They're the
old stodgy.
Exactly.
They have the chops to
And like I said, they came with a wealth of experience. Youssef at Ballast Point, chose these guys to work for him.
Right.
And obviously,
I think we should rinse first.
Oh, sorry.
What? Sorry. So
Youssef?
Yeah, Youssef Cherney, at Ballast Point, allowed these guys to run with the program and they have at Ballast Point to brew Sculpin. Yeah. And
right.
I mean,
they clearly know what they're doing.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line.
Beauty of the craft beer industry. Like you basically learn how to brew a beer. You see how excellent beers are made, and you take them and you make them your own.
Yeah,
right.
This is not Sculpin. This is IronFire.
It is.
You can definitely.
Oh, there's a
taste
big difference between the two.
Oh yeah, but
I've side by sided them.
You can definitely taste that quality that comes from a couple guys that have come from a quality craft brewery.
Yeah,
right. Our last beer that we're going to do is from Aftershock Brewery. This is an espresso stout.
Aftershock is the smallest of the production breweries that they are self-distributed here in Temecula.
Here we go.
Here
we go. We'll see
if this happens.
We'll see if I.
We had a big conversation about whether we needed to bring a knife in for this, but
I can't see his phone for some reason. What do you?
The iPhone comes through.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Don't doubt the app.
Thanks, Maui.
Nice. Thank you, Maui Brewing Company.
There is an app for that. This is pretty much one of my favorite beers from Aftershock, other than their Richter Rauch beer, which is a
we had earlier today.
Which is a Rauch beer that they
tasty.
do. That's a wonder. I love that beer, but I love that style of beer. But no, the espresso stout though.
Oh my God! First of all,
great.
the aroma on this is amazing.
Yeah, it's quite delicious.
And it is dry beaned.
Oh, there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's funny because there's a certain acridity that comes with coffee beers. Even if you
acridity, what is that?
Like acrid.
Oh, okay.
Stereo.
Acridity.
Yeah, I was like, oh, there it is.
I don't know. I don't know.
Kind of what my head's doing anyway today. So
should lay off the whippets there.
Steve stick.
That and the Vicodin.
Yeah. Whippets and Vicodin, man.
so much.
Wow.
And the heroin.
Don't tell me what happened.
It's been a bad week to quit sniffing glue.
Usually with coffee beers, even if they do like a cold steep or something like that, there's a certain level of
acidity.
There's a certain exactly that comes with it. But it's very smooth. It's very
and this is a wonderful beer.
Yeah.
They're a very very small tasting room.
What size system are they on? Do you know?
I believe they're doing a 5-barrel.
5-barrel.
It's a very very rudimentary brewing system.
No, that is.
Yeah. It's open kettle. They're doing wonderful beers, and they keep a tasting room with, I believe, 9 beers on tap.
Okay.
Speaking of the dry beaning or dry coffee beaning, I would think if they're dry, it's essentially dry hopping. They're doing it between like 40 and 60 degrees.
I believe so.
You might not get a lot of that acrid, acidic coffee.
Well, yeah, because you're not doing like the boiling process like you would with regular coffee. You're steeping regular coffee or tea.
So you're almost kind of doing like a cold steep, but in the beer.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because there's different methods that I've read about doing that. If you do it like at room temperature, if you do it actually chilled, and also the coarseness of how you crush the beans has a lot to do with it, because I mean, if you do like, you can take the beans and just kind of like mash at them in like a mortar pestle kind of situation.
Well, then
or
of course
you can also
get more.
Yeah, well, but then
like,
if you like grind them, even
tannic
if
flavor.
Yeah, if you do
and I think that's how they're eliminating the big tannins that you would normally get with like steeping
that
coffee.
roughness, yeah.
Yeah,
But what you were saying, like the crush.
Yeah, but
it's
it's the same thing with grain. I mean, the finer you crush it, the faster your extraction is going to be, and the more of that kind of like tannin. I don't know if in coffee it's necessarily tannin, but
I would think
more
it's
of that
along the
effect
same
you
lines
get.
where if you crush your green finer, you'll get a higher efficiency, but you'll get more tannic. The
That's
same thing
exactly
with
it.
coffee. You might get more of a
turnaround
yield from that
faster.
coffee flavor, but you'll in fact get
you risk
a
the
lot
tannin,
of
the tannin production in the brewing process.
Yeah,
But
these
as
are all
far as-
assumptions that we're
This
making.
is
by
like
the way. We don't
MBT
know
Brewing
science.
without Jason around.
Yeah, I know, seriously.
If Jason was here, he'd be like, fuck Iron Man. Something funny, and that wasn't funny.
Well, John, we really appreciate you coming out,
Well,
bringing
it's
all these beers.
It's
great.
a pleasure to be here and an honor to be on NBT. I think this is a great.
Is it really?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, okay.
I think it is a privilege to be hanging out with
It's
you
going to
guys.
destroy any beer crew you ever hope to have.
Yeah, well, and if anybody
You're on
does,
MBT? Yeah, no, you can't.
and if anybody does want to find me, you can find me on Facebook at Temecula Beer Ambassador, or
He's on the show now.
There'll also be
I'm on the
links to
show
all
now,
of John's contact information
and there'll be
in the
links,
show
I'm sure,
notes,
at some
so,
point.
yes.
I have a Twitter feed. It's Tem Ambassador
Like TEM as
TM
in Temecula.
at TEM Ambassador.
Yeah.
Wow,
And-
he's so promoting himself. What's that about?
Well, if there's an opportune moment, it's now. I mean, can't blame the guy, really.
It's my own damn vanity. It's a human quality.
right?
It's vanity. Yeah.
Here's the vanity.
Yeah.
Vanity.
Here's the
is-
self-promotion and gratuitous
We've
plugging.
had a podcast for 3.5 years. But
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, what do you know about gratuity and,
Gratuitous
and self-promotion?
exactly.
I love
Well,
gratuity.
we're really excited about the Temecula beer scene. It's really exploding. It's a lot of fun to go down there and visit some of these breweries. We still need to get down to Aftershock. I feel bad.
Yeah,
that we missed
Aftershock.
them
I mean,
last time.
just to kind of summarize this, it's a great beer.
This is a great beer. Yeah,
Great
for sure.
espresso stout. I mean, it's just dry. You get that nice coffee flavor. Everything's great. I mean,
Right.
But just
and again, this is a newer brewery that's making a beer that typically is difficult for even established breweries to make well.
Right.
They did a really good job with it. That's, because honestly, it's easy to make it a good Imperial Russian Stout. But when you start throwing stuff in like espresso and whatever
I think it's easy to fake it, but if it's good, that
Right.
will,
Well, that's
that
what I'm
will
getting
carry
at. It's
through.
like you can't really hide bad espresso interactions.
Well, no, it's the additional additions.
All that, yeah.
It's the additions.
That's what I'm talking about.
of
It's
the
like when you
coffee,
start
yeah.
adding that stuff into it, it's like you either do it right or you do it to a point where it's like, get some espresso off of it, I guess. But this is really done well, which is impressive to me because of the fact that all of these breweries are so new. They're all brewing beers that are just freaking phenomenal
Yep.
and totally outside the spectrum of what you would expect from this age of a brewery. So
Yeah.
that's why we wanted to take a moment to like talk about them,
Well said.
feature them a little bit, and like convince people that if you're at Stone and Escondido, get a hotel room in that area and then cruise up to Temecula. It's 20-minute drive,
and they go a half hour more to Riverside and go to
Yeah,
Bellevue.
and you can literally park your car and walk to like 4 of these breweries.
Yeah, seriously.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, that's
We
another
also have
aspect of it.
a really good brew tour company in Temecula that does the TemeculaBreweries.com. Does the entire circuit. They can contact them.
Cool.
They do a fantastic job of the.
That'd be a good way to do it, just because, like you said, there's.
It's a lot cheaper than a DUI.
Right.
I'm just saying.
Truer words have never been spoken.
and
seriously.
safer.
Yeah,
And a lot safer.
And on that note, until next week, stay safe and drink beer.
Cheers.
Thanks, sir.